This is 990WBOB.com, the home of internet entertainment. From Rhode Island to the world, 990WBOB.com. 990WBOB.com is an independent free media outlet.
Good evening, baseball fans. My name is Ryan Robles. Joining me tonight is my cousin, Tom Harkness, and we are very, very excited to be bringing you the first ever full-length episode of our new show, KnuckleBalls, brought to you by 990 WBOB. Tom, how you doing today?
Good evening, Ryan. Well, I'm really excited that we're able to get this off the ground. You know, you and I have been doing a lot of hard work with this. This is a new and exciting venture for us, for everybody at 990. I think we have a great program on our hands here, and I can't thank you enough for doing this alongside me.
Oh, Tom, it is my absolute pleasure. I mean, me and you are pretty much on the phone all the time, yelling at each other about what's happening in baseball regardless. So we figure we might as well put it out there and see if other people enjoy it. And we got a lot to talk about. You know, we haven't been able to talk on air in a little while. And recently, there's been a lot of news in the free agency market. I think is we're going to start with Kyle Tucker will be joining the Los Angeles Dodgers. The regime continues. He signed a 4-year, $240 million deal. I believe $30 million is going to be deferred, so his AAV is looking like $57.1 million. Sounds like a good couple of years to be Kyle Tucker. Tom, initial thoughts. I got to hear it from you.
To be honest with you, Ryan, first off, it's a collective eye roll from everybody who loves baseball.
It's a big sigh. I think it's a very big sigh.
We all saw it coming, though, right? Like, we all saw this coming from a mile away. The Dodgers were going to be aggressive this offseason, as they've been pretty much every offseason in their history, you know, based in LA and everything. They're obviously a very desirable place to go. And, they have a pretty good baseball team. They're back-to-back defending World Series champions on top of it. So it was an eye roll, but honestly, I wasn't all that surprised that Kyle Tucker made his way to the Dodgers. They've been aggressive, as I just mentioned, Ryan, and here they are being aggressive once again.
Yeah, no, I fully agree. You know, it's not anything new for the Dodgers. I don't think anyone was surprised about the destination for Kyle Tucker. You know, you see a team go win back-to-back World Series, you're a young guy with a lot of career left. Say, sign me up for that. I don't blame him. I don't. I think what shocked me the most is the price tag at the end of the day. And I know Kyle Tucker has been widely considered the best available free agent this year, and rightfully so. He's a hell of a baseball player. Had a phenomenal start, especially the start to last season. Prior to the injury, I do think he fell off a little bit towards the end, but he was hurt. So what can you really blame him for? But the price tag at the end of the day, making $57 million a year, I expected a long contract. I expected a long contract for a lot of money. So the AAV to me is just so high. He's making $7 million more than Juan Soto. And Juan Soto's a generational talent. And I am not trying to knock Kyle Tucker in any way. I want that to be clear. Like, he's a really good baseball player. He really is. But he's not Juan Soto.
Right.
He's not.
I agree with you there.
He's not Aaron Judge. He's making more money than these guys. A guy who just won back-to-back MVPs. It makes you think, like, where is the free agency market going? Because we're going to have real generational talents like Paul Skeens coming into free agency relatively soon. What kind of contract is that guy going to make? That's going to be a lot of money. And we're already in this weird spot in the league where there's a lot of teams. Yeah, the Dodgers are spending whatever. They defer everything to 3,000, to the year 3,000 or whatever. But there's also all these other teams that aren't spending. They aren't even capable of spending that.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest with you, Ryan. The biggest knock I have on baseball nowadays is we only see maybe, I don't know, 4 or 5 teams spend in an aggressive manner, and none of them are spending at the level that the Dodgers are. They're basically inviting a lockout next year. They're saying, all right, well, come and take this roster from us. You guys have the ability to spend money. There are multiple teams in New York. There's a team in Chicago that we'll be getting into. There's a team in Boston that I'm sure we'll be touching on as well. Um, they do spend money, but not at the level that the Los Angeles Dodgers have. And I think that, if I'm the Dodgers, if I'm a fan, if I'm a player, obviously, if I'm in that front office, I'm saying, well, how can we get better and better every year? We're trying to defend these World Series titles that I mentioned before. Oh, well, let's go out and let's get Edwin Diaz. Let's go out and let's go get Kyle Tucker. Those guys are, in my opinion, the best available bullpen arm and fielder, two of probably the top 5-10 free agents overall in this current class. And the Dodgers are going out and getting them. And it's not for lack of trying by other teams. I heard the Mets put out an offer about 4 years, $220 million. But just the deferrals that you talked about, the opportunity to play in Los Angeles. And oh, yeah, I mean, like you're getting the highest AAV in the sport, and you're eclipsing that of Juan Soto, who got that mammoth deal from the Mets last offseason. It really makes you think.
It does. And it's to your point, like it's not like other teams didn't put their offers out there and go try to get this guy. And I mean, you can't blame Kyle Tucker. That's a good deal to take. I mean, I'd be there in 2 seconds. So I'd say, show me the line. But like, and it's even hard to be mad at the Dodgers in this scenario too, because at the same time, like there are teams with really big purses that they could go spend more than what they're spending. They just don't want to pay the luxury tax. I get it. Right? It costs money, whatever. But it's those really lower market teams that I worry about. Because in my opinion, not even just baseball, any sport is fun when it's competition all around. When it's all around competition, that's when it's really fun. When you don't
wholeheartedly agree.
But when more than half of the league is just kind of like a meh, like we're just gonna walk over, like it takes a lot of the fun out of half of the regular season.
Sure, it's deflating.
It is deflating, and that's exactly how I felt when I saw. I didn't even see the headline. I think I saw your text first. You're my Jeff Passan. I get all my firsthand news from Tom Harkness, and it's greatly appreciated. But yeah, the second I saw that, I just felt, oh man,
yeah,
it's a tough one.
It's just like it's a big exhale, like you said. That's really, you're kind of at a loss for words again. Personally, and I'm sure you felt this way too, you see it coming because the Dodgers are the Dodgers. What has ever held them back from spending on free agents to trying to, form some sort of competitive advantage for their team, regardless of how good they are? We know that they're going to be the aggressors in any situation, but really it's just such a gut punch when it actually comes to fruition. You're like, yes, I anticipated this offseason. I thought the Dodgers would be in on Edwin Diaz. Oh man, there he is. He's going to LA. That sucks. Here comes Kyle Tucker next. And you just have to kind of catch your breath because you're like, this really happened. I thought it's not a total bombshell. It's not somewhere out of left field like Alonso to the Orioles. It makes sense in a vacuum, right, Ryan? But
yeah,
I didn't think he was going to end up there, to be quite honest with you. Like, it makes perfect sense.
It makes,
I didn't see it happening.
It was definitely not in my predictions in any way, shape, or form. The Orioles never crossed my mind when it came to Pete.
And then you have this, the Tucker thing, just circling back to it. Really, all I can say, the all encapsulating feeling is just, it's deflating, for fans of large market teams, but especially for the smaller market teams. How many multi-year deals have the Pittsburgh Pirates put together over the past 10 years? Only one I can think of for a position player, at least, is Ryan O'Hearn, who signed a 2-year deal this offseason.
It's tough, but I do want to give my props to the Flowers, to Kyle Tucker. Good for you, Kyle. You went out, you got your money. You had a hell of a 2025 season. Again, got hurt, fell off a little bit. He was batting around 291 before the injury.
Yeah.
All the 40 games after was batting 232. I think he ended up with like a 266 average over the season. 22 home runs. Great ball player. Great ball player. It's a hell of an addition for the Dodgers. I am really interested to see what the 2026 season looks like for him, especially at the plate. I don't think Kyle Tucker's ever been surrounded by such star power or not been the guy in his lineup. So he's going to get pitched to a lot differently, and that's going to be really interesting to see.
Yeah, I agree with you, Ryan. Just want to jump in really quickly, and I think that we're knocking this deal because it makes the Dodgers better, but it's certainly not like, yeah, you're right in the sense that Juan Soto is deserving of being the highest paid player in baseball. That AAV and the deferrals and everything certainly, raise a couple questions in my mind, but he's really deserving of all the money he got. He's deserving of an opportunity to play in LA. He's a hell of a baseball player. So ultimately, it's frustrating for us, but it is deserved for both Kyle Tucker and for the Dodgers. Good for them,
Yeah.
for making
they're willing
their
to spend
team
it,
better.
and that's the thing.
Yeah.
They're gonna go spend what they need to spend, and that's what they do, and that's
Exactly.
why they keep winning. Hey, we used to see our team do that. It was cool.
It's as simple as that. Baseball rewards the teams that spend more money. That's what the Dodgers are doing.
Absolutely right. Well, all right, that's enough of Kyle Tucker. We're gonna have to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're gonna talk about some more free agency deals that just recently occurred. Really excited. We'll be right back. And welcome back to KnuckleBalls on 990 WBOB. This is Ryan Robles, and joining me is my cousin Tom Harkness. Tom, we're moving on to the next big free agency signing, and I know most of New England right now is celebrating. They're happy. They're freaking out over Drake May, and I get it.
Yeah.
Really happy for Drake May, but I know there's also a big percent of you who are feeling it right now with your Boston Red Sox front office because they let Alex Bregman go sign a $175 million deal for 5 years with the Chicago Cubs, and I can't believe it. I can't.
I was shocked. Shocked. This one did catch me off guard. The Kyle Tucker one didn't. This did.
This one blew me away. I did not foresee it, and mainly because of the way the Boston Red Sox, from front office down to their rookie star, Roman Anthony, talked about this guy, talked him up as a leader, how just phenomenal he was. Never mind how great he was on the field last year, how great he was in the clubhouse for a team who had been going through a lot of weird clubhouse rumors, with the whole Devers thing happening last year. Do I know all the details? Who's like, I think it was mainly just the way the front office handled things, obviously. But for a guy like with Alex Bregman's talent to come into your organization and just create the impact he did and have the positive impact that he did on your young players, who Boston's full of like a lot of young talent right now that needed this kind of guiding light. And to let him walk to another team over just refusing a no trade clause because that's
a little silly.
Policy.
Yeah,
a little silly is a little silly. It's a lot of silly. I get it if you're not going to go offer one of these young guys they have on the roster no trade clause. Get it. They haven't been in the league long enough to like earn that say, whatnot. This is Alex Bregman.
Yes.
This is a guy you really, really needed to have in that roster.
A guy who's won World Series.
A guy
multiple
asterisks, but multiple. I'm not over it, but this guy was so in. Like, I don't think the Boston Red Sox end up in the postseason after the Devers trade if they don't have a guy like Alex Bregman. Not because I don't think that they had talent. They had phenomenal pitching. They any team could have rode that pitching into the postseason. But I don't think that they get it together at the plate and in the field without this guy mentoring those young players throughout the season. And I don't I truly don't know what this means for the Boston Red Sox moving to next year, who I think they were just as surprised about this. I truly think that front office,
I would imagine so. Yeah.
I don't think that front office ever thought that this no trade thing was going to mean Alex Bregman's going to go be a Cub at all. I don't. I think they were just hunky dory, solidifying their pitching rotation, which they did. They did. That's still phenomenal. Young talent's still there, but now I feel like they have this huge hole that they need to go figure out how to fill.
Exactly. And Ryan, I want to jump in because you just got to what I was trying to allude. You mentioned, hey, they had a fantastic, pitching corps last year, and they still do. They got better, going out and getting guys like Ranger Suarez, who just signed a big deal, had a nice year in Philly. Sonny Gray, who's an established veteran pitcher, and a guy who hates the Yankees, so he fits right in there. Johan Oviedo, a young piece who has had some success in his early career with Pittsburgh and St. Louis. They have found, they've plugged these holes that were in the roster. They have, these talents like Roman Anthony, who looks like a generational prospect. He's certainly been heralded as one. Marcelo Meyer, a talented young infielder. They'll probably try to put him at short, but with Trevor Story there, who they were able to retain this offseason, which was a big thing for them. Meyer can play second at a very high level. And that's just to name a few. There are guys like Ceddanne Rafaela, Wilyer Abreu. They went out and they got Wilson Contreras in a deal as well. So that's a nice bat for their lineup. But the loss of Bregman is huge. And you gave him the 3-year deal last year. You had the 1-year opt out. There was always a risk that he would opt out. He was a little banged up this year, but when he was on the field, he was a really, really fine player on both ends of what third base entails in terms of his bat and in terms of his glove. And then you mentioned the leadership. Well, Rafael Devers, as we know, he had that massive deal, $313 million or something over the next 10 years that the Red Sox sent over to San Francisco to get him out of the clubhouse because you had Alex Bregman and you didn't need the headaches that Devers was causing. Well, now Devers is gone. That's great. You're off that albatross of a contract and you're off the player that didn't want to play anything other than third base, but you lost your proverbial third baseman of the near future. I'd say he's obviously over the age of 30, so he wasn't going to be there forever, but he only spent about half a season with you and you mortgaged a lot to keep him in a Red Sox uniform for that half a season. I would be concerned if I were a Boston fan that there's no immediate contingency in place.
Absolutely. And I stress is like the biggest impact here. It's not that the Red Sox lack talent moving into this roster, like this season. They don't. They have a lot of talent in that roster. It's just the vibes, because baseball is a vibe sport. Baseball is a vibe sport, and it really is. If you're not, you can be the best player in the world, but if your head's not there, you suck. And that just is what it is. It is a game of failures, and that's just the way it is. And Alex Bregman was a champion, a positive impact on the roster, and a Yankee killer. Let's be honest. He excelled playing against the Yankees. That is what makes a great Red Sox. Like, I know that. I know I'm a Yankee fan, but I grew up in Boston. I know what they love, and they love it when they stick it to the Yankees. This guy did that in any uniform. So
really throughout his career.
It's so many questions. It's a fumble. It is, in my opinion, the biggest fumble of the offseason thus far. I don't know how they let it happen.
I don't either. I really don't either. I mean, it's just
because he didn't want
misstep.
to be traded. Just because he didn't want to be traded.
Right. Who wouldn't want job security? It makes no sense to me.
It's just a crazy thing. I understand the interest in being able to move a guy around like that and like have like, oh, we could trade Alex Bregman for some young future guy in a couple of years. I get that. I understand that. It's a business. But you're telling me that a guy came to you and said, hey, I don't want to play anywhere else but here for the next couple of years. Make that happen. And you just said no? That is just, it's absurd. It is absurd. Well, we'll leave that for you Red Sox listeners to kind of ponder on as we go to a quick commercial break. We'll be right back with Knuckleballs on 990 WBOB. And welcome back to Knuckleballs on 990 WBOB. This is Ryan Robles. Joining me is, of course, my beautiful cousin Tom Harkness. Tom, thank you as always. We're talking some free agency signing. Next biggest signing, in our opinion, was the New York Metropolitans. Metropolitans?
Metropolitans,
the Mets.
You got it.
The Mets. They signed Bo Bichette. That rhymed. I like that. Bo Bichette is now a New York Met for a 3-year, $126 million deal. And it's a really good signing for the Mets. I'm really excited to see that bat next to Juan Soto in a lineup. I think that's really, really big. I do think it's the star power, the level of star power that they needed to sign after kind of cleaning house a bit, especially with some could be statue guys for the Mets like Pete Alonso. Like, you needed to bring in a big name after not bringing a guy like that back into your clubhouse, and they did. They went out and got Bo Bichette. I think this might be their first non-ex Yankee signing, so that's exciting. But he is coming in to play third base, Tom, and that I don't know if it worries me. I know Bo Bichette is a talented athlete, but it's just something new. I don't think he's ever played that in the big leagues before. And I know with injuries, there was concern with him being that far from first, making throws at short. And like the talk of the town was wherever he signed, he was most likely going to be playing second base to kind of make that a little less strain. And now he's moved even further away. So it's interesting. I know the Mets, they just signed Simeon, so they have second base covered. They're fine at short. It's interesting. I think that's going to be the biggest kind of test for Bo moving into. He's no stranger to the spotlight. I know Toronto isn't New York, but with the season they just had, they have the whole country on them. It's not like they have other teams that their fans are really able to cheer for. We have 2 teams in New York alone. So like he's used to having eyes on him. He's used to the media. I don't think that's a problem. I think it's just going to be a really new feel for him. And he's got to feel it out in a new city. And that's really the biggest thing. Like, I know he's going to hit. The guy can hit. He's going to probably have a close to, if not above 300 batting average like he does. And we're going to see where that goes.
Yeah, Ryan,
Tom.
You say interesting. I say counterintuitive. To be quite honest with you, sorry to interject, but I mean, you mentioned it. This is a guy that there's legitimate concern of, can he throw the ball to first base if he's playing on the left side of the infield? Well, you're going to put him on all the way to the furthest part of that left side at third base. I don't love it. I really don't. I mean, I get it. Like, the Mets need a third baseman. You're still kind of waiting on Brett Beatty to do anything, and he just hasn't. So maybe a Ronnie Mauricio plays third for them. I don't know. They have all these former top prospects that just have not panned out at the MLB level. Francisco Alvarez has been good when healthy, but that's a big when healthy.
It's an if.
Yeah, it's really an if there. And here's another if in Bo Bichette. He had a great year last year, and he has the PCL sprain in early September. Austin Wells, funny enough, is the man that kind of causes that for him. So he misses the American League Divisional Series. He misses the Championship League Series, and then he comes back for the World Series. And hey, I mean, even on one bad leg, he had that legendary home run in Game 7 that we certainly thought was going to give the Jays the World Series win. But I don't know, Ryan, you mentioned it. You're going from playing in Toronto and being the guy there with Vladdy and a roster that is good enough to compete for a World Series right now, especially bringing in Dylan Cease on that 7-year deal that they gave him, to a Mets team that, are they really the best in the NL East? Are they really a playoff team at this point? You lose Jeff McNeil. You lose Brandon Nimmo. Sure, maybe those guys are past their prime, but you lose Pete Alonso, who we know is one of, if not the best first baseman in the sport.
Is the current home run franchise leader for the Mets.
You're franchise guy. I mean, about as close to Mr. Met as one can be.
He kind of looks like Mr. Met.
He kind of does. Like I feel like if we superimpose Mr. Met's head over his, you wouldn't be
It would
able to
just
tell a
make
difference.
sense. It would make
Yeah,
sense.
exactly. But this deal, I think, speaking of making sense, I think this deal makes sense. The Mets needed a big name. Here's Bo Bichette. We missed out on Kyle Tucker, as I mentioned earlier. They gave him 4.220 and he didn't take it. So you go out, you get Bo Bichette, who had a heck of a year last year. Finished top 20 and AL MVP voting. That's nothing to sneeze at. I'm sure he'll be perfectly fine there with Juan Soto and the rest of them. Francisco Lindor, I think that makes for a really tantalizing left side of the infield, but it's the injury concern and the ability to throw the ball to first base. How is he going to look defensively, Ryan?
Hmm.
That's where I stand on it.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree, Tom. I think from the offensive standpoint, you really shouldn't ever have to worry about Bo Bichette because he's given you no reason to. Like you said, with a torn PCL, he still hit probably the biggest home run of the season for the Toronto Blue Jays last in the World
Yeah,
Series. I know it didn't end up with the win, but like, God, was that electrifying. But it's the defense. Is he gonna go there and just be a black hole over at third that
right.
doesn't add any value? Or is he gonna go be a star? I mean, I don't know. I think best case scenario, he's a league average third baseman. I think best
Yeah.
case. I think you can expect a few, like more than a few throwing errors, especially. I don't think the glove necessarily is the biggest concern. He does have a little bit less ground to cover over there at third, so I don't think he's going to have a lot of balls going by him. I mean, I think the hot corner is a different animal, but like I don't think it's the picking. I think it's more so can he make that throw? And I foresee a lot of throwing errors over there. And who do they have at first right now? Who is penciled
That's what
in?
I was going to say. Who's your first baseman?
Yeah,
That's
who's
the
who's
other thing that
picking
the
that
Mets
for
have to
him?
figure out.
Because that's going to be huge. If you're going to be trying out a new third baseman, I think you really need to have a good glove over there. And I don't think they really have anyone there.
No one yet. No one yet. I mean, I'm not super well versed with the Mets minor league system. Besides some of those guys that I mentioned, the big names from a couple of
Yeah,
years ago, Alvarez, Mauricio Beatty. I think that you want to keep Alvarez a catcher. You don't want him to transition to first. And really, is it going to be like a Brett
do they,
Beatty at
do
first
they put
base?
Brett Beatty over there? Like,
I would imagine so, at least right now, unless they have
because
something, up their
I don't know
sleeve.
what else they put in their lineup with not Brett Beatty.
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know off the top of my head, and I'm sure they'll figure something out. But again, it's a real question to have, Ryan. You make a really good point. You want to figure out both ends of the battery, but I think the first baseman in any situation is more instrumental to keeping the infield together than the third baseman. You
I
need
absolutely agree.
every throw's going to first on a ground ball, or virtually everyone is going to first on a ground ball. So you need to figure out that first base situation. If you have a guy that you're going to plug in at third and Bo Bichette,
And just
and you
kind of
don't know if he can get
fingers
the ball
crossed
there,
he can do it.
yeah. I mean, they're
It's
kind of
just,
walking into this blindfolded.
I mean, what like just kind of throwing out like what ifs? Like, what do you think Bo can play first, and they keep Beatty at third, and just deal
I
with
don't
what they
know.
already know?
I mean, maybe we've seen so many guys just like think about the transitions we've seen these last few years. It's like
It's
everybody's
been
going to play
weird.
every position now, right? It's
I
weird,
mean, that's how we
you
grew up
know?
playing. That's you just
Yeah.
kind of rotated around, but it's not the same at the majors. You need that consistency. So it'll be something to watch out for. I do want to not break off from this too much, but we talked a little bit about the Blue Jays and how he just who they are. Are you a little bit surprised to see Bo not re-signing there?
Yeah, I mean, I was a little bit, I thought I kind of always saw him as
I
maybe their
just
Pete
I think
Alonso.
him and Vladdy have come up together. Like he's
Right.
he's just been such a Blue Jay. Like
Yeah.
I don't know of him drafted by the Blue Jays. I can't even really picture him in a Mets uniform just yet. It's
No,
weird.
me neither.
And I
That
don't
introductory conference will be weird.
like to my knowledge, I don't know of any kind of locker room drama happening in Toronto. That team
No.
from top to bottom, when you watch them in the postseason last year and even during the regular season, that whole bench seemed like best friends. Like it seemed like a
Yeah,
fun place to be
energized.
playing baseball. Like
Right.
It just struck me as odd because I didn't even hear that Toronto really was making offers. And maybe they know something we don't. Maybe it's a mutual thing that Bo just kind of wanted to go do his own thing. Whatever. I don't know. It's a little odd to me, and I don't know what. I mean, I guess they made it through the postseason pretty just okay without him. So maybe it was just they didn't need to be spending X amount more money. But
Yeah.
I was a little surprised not to hear their name brought up a bit more when it came to Bo, because all I'd really heard was that the Yankees were looking at him, that the Mets were looking at him. I didn't really ever hear, hey, Toronto's in the negotiations.
Yeah, I agree with you, Ryan. I'd never heard Toronto in the negotiations. I mean, to be quite honest with you, I was really surprised that the Jays let him go. Yeah, and I know that
Yeah.
they don't have a lot of holes on that roster. So I do think that it was just kind of a mutual parting of ways. Bo said, "Hey, I have this on the table from New York," and the Jays said, "Take it. We're not going to match that." But that's a group that there's a lot of camaraderie, at least from the outside. Like from my vantage point, watching that Jays team,
There's not bad media, is I
no,
guess what we're trying to say. Like, there's no
yeah, no,
bad publicity there.
no one seemed to put up a stink about them, especially not last year. And they had a tremendous season, winning the AL East, making it to the World Series, making it to a World Series Game 7, being within a Jeff Hoffman save of winning the World Series, before Miguel Vargas hits the game tying home run and it goes to extras and all of that, unfurls. And really, I mean, I think it's one of those mutual things. Bo says, "Here's what I have on the table." You knew the Red Sox were interested. You knew the Yankees had some interest, and the Jays were
I
like,
am
"We're not
happy
going to
he's
get
not in
into a bidding
Boston.
war."
I will say that. I'm very happy
Oh,
he's
you
not in
and me
Boston.
both.
But I wonder if
You
it
and
would
me
have been, I
both.
wonder if they were going to put him at third too.
Who knows? Right? We just talked about the Bregman thing. You have Marcelo Meyer. You have Trevor Story under contract.
I think it turned into a
Maybe
like,
he was playing
where would
third.
we put him? Yeah, maybe he was playing third, but I think maybe Boston just didn't think that was worth trying. You know what I mean? They've already had so
Yeah,
much drama at third. They probably wanted just to
exactly.
figure out an actual third baseman to put in there.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'm with
It's
you.
at the end of the day, it's a weird signing. The Mets definitely needed a bat and a name like that for their roster, especially after losing it. But he's not a third baseman, and
He's not.
it's gonna be the one thing everyone's looking at when the year starts for him. And that it's I hope it doesn't add too much nerve for him, but like he has to show up in the field to make this a really good deal for them.
And speaking of nerve, Ryan, look at where he's playing. He's in New York. Expectations are high.
Oh, oh, they are. Even when you're a Met, even when you're a Met. All right, we do need to cut to a quick commercial break, Tom. So we're gonna let that happen, and we'll come right back here. And I think we're gonna talk some Yankees. But you're listening to Knuckleballs on 990 WBOB. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Knuckleballs on 990 WBOB. This is Ryan Robles. Joining me is my cousin Tom Harkness, and we're going to be moving into a little bit of our favorite kind of talk, which is New York Yankees talk. Doesn't mean we're going to be happy about it, but we like
Not at
talking
all.
about it. No, no. Honestly, I think my first note I have written down, Tom, is what the hell? Because what the hell? What are we doing? What are we doing? We're not doing anything. We've
Oh,
spent this
nothing.
entire offseason chasing the same guy who, if we do sign, knock on wood that we sign Cody Bellinger, because we really need him. He's a really good baseball player, and I like Cody a lot. We're
Yeah.
just going to be the same team, minus Devin Williams and minus Luke Weaver.
Yeah.
That's it. We're just the same team that
And
lost in the postseason.
this team wasn't run it back good, Ryan.
No,
Quite frankly, they were not like even a 94 win
I
team. No.
they there were a 94 win team who failed against any really good starter and then beat up iffy relievers.
Yeah.
And luckily they got iffy relievers 94 times because they weren't a solid baseball team. They made such dumb
Not at
plays in
all.
the field, just terrible like novice mistakes. Like they hadn't played base. It just doesn't make sense. And now I am going to say this. I'm trying to stay positive. I think we picked up a lot of really good pieces at the trade deadline last year that didn't all have the time to kind of grow into fruition. I think Doval specifically needed some more time to get accustomed to New York. I think with a full offseason of Matt Blake, I think he can really be a solid piece for us. I think give Ryan McMahon a little more time to figure out his bat. Let him hang out with Aaron Judge for a little bit. Let him hang out with Aaron Judge. I think more than just a couple months sitting next to the best baseball player on the planet will help him figure out how to hit a line drive into the outfield.
100%.
I don't need 30 bombs from him. If he can put together 20 home runs and just a 260, 270 batting average and just do everything he did last year in the field,
Please,
Ryan
I'll take
McMahon
that.
could easily become my favorite Yankee. Easily.
Yeah.
So there's a good things. Bednar really showed up towards the end in the postseason. I'm excited for a full year of Bednar.
Yes.
I think we get Cole back, we get Rodon back. Our rotation looks pretty crazy. If they come back as Garrett Cole and Carlos Rodon, that's a really good rotation with Fried. We got Schlittler. Don't know what Will
Not to
Warren's
mention
going to
Clark
do.
Schmidt, Ryan. He might be
Clark
back this year
Clark Schmidt might
and was
come
playing
back.
really well before the Tommy John.
Yeah, absolutely. He was on fire before the Tommy John. I was really sad to see him go. And then
Yeah.
I do like, Tom, we were talking a little bit before. I do like this Ryan Weathers trade. I think
Yeah,
when he's
I do too.
healthy, he's a really, really good pitcher. He can be a starter. I wouldn't mind even if he starts and this helps Will Warren move into the bullpen. That's the
Right.
ideal move in my opinion. I think Will
Yes.
Warren would succeed a lot if he didn't have the pressure of carrying the entire game. I
I
really, really
completely
do.
agree.
But even if that doesn't happen, obviously, whatever Ryan Weathers maybe moves into a Boltzmann spot, I think a lefty throwing 100 is a nice thing to be able to bring out into the middle of the game. I really do. He could be a long relief kind of guy. And I think Matt Blake is just watering
Yes.
at the mouth, thinking about getting to work. Like this is like the archetype of what Matt Blake can go fix and make
Yes.
into a
What-
like if he can do whatever he did to Luke Weaver to this guy, throwing 100. Oh man. Oh man. I'll let you take the floor now, Tom, but that's my 2 cents. That's my 2 cents.
Honestly, all I'm going to do here is just agree with you, Ryan. Like everything you said in my mind, or everything you said is what I'm thinking in my mind. This is a nice move. Weathers is a former, first round pick, guy who spent some time, with the Padres in their minor league system, and then goes over to Miami. And the big concern is when he's healthy, right? I mean, it is another if as opposed to when sort of situation. The guy just hasn't been able to stay, on the bump. But when he's on the hill and when he's pitching pretty well. And I think that Matt Blake, as we've seen time and time again, I think Matt Blake got Luke Weaver that deal with the Mets. Yeah, it didn't
He
really work
really
out with
did.
Devin Williams, but
I mean,
like,
was Devin really working with anyone though?
he really
Yeah.
wasn't working at all. I mean, even the end of his tenure in Milwaukee wasn't the best. His sort of lasting legacy there is the Pete Alonso home run in the wild card round a couple years ago. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm not gonna pin that one on Matt Blake, and also just some guys can't pitch in New York. But I think that, if you have a pitching coach like Matt Blake that can assist you with, your command and your velocity and all that comes with that, and you are able to kind of focus on adjusting to a place like New York, and you don't have to worry about your on-field performance as much because you have the support staff around you that the Yankees do have. Like, I know that we've been critical of Aaron Boone, but he is a player's coach. He has his guys'
Yeah, he is.
backs. And I think that's a big part of, really everything.
It frustrates me how good of a guy he is sometimes. 'Cause
Exactly.
I just want to hate you. Just shut up.
Yeah, I know he's a really good dude, and it makes it
He
tough
is.
because he's not a good manager, and
No,
that's
he's not. He's not.
the problem.
And that's the worst. Those are my least favorite coworkers. The coworkers that I like a lot but aren't good at their jobs because I'm like, do better. And I can't yell at
Right.
you, but gosh.
I can't get mad at you.
But
Yeah,
why do I have
mean,
to work with
I
you?
want to.
Oh man. No, I get that. I get that. I do want to just say something though, and I've been thinking this a lot all week, and I've been waiting to kind of get on air with you and vent about it. I am so beyond annoyed, pissed, and just frustrated with the Yankees front office and Brian Cashman and Hal Steinbrenner, because of all the years. Like, they are obviously, Hal is not his father. He's not going to go spend the money he's doing that his dad used to spend. We've seen it. But of all the years to not go out and just blow the budget and get anything you need to stop the LA Dodgers from becoming the next team to three-peat the World Series, the Yankees should be taking this personally. Like, this is their thing. They shouldn't be so content in sitting there and watching another franchise do what the Yankees do, what the Yankees are known for. We're supposed to be the evil empire. We are barely the rebellion right now. Like, the Dodgers have taken that throne. They have back-to-back World Series championships to prove it, and the Yankees haven't won since 2009. It's going almost 20 years. It's
unbelievable to think about.
We have kids growing up that think the Yankees are a losing franchise.
Yeah.
That is crazy to me. It's
not how
they
we
shouldn't
grew up.
have, like, it's not. We grew up in the good old days, the glory days. But it's just, of all the years, for them to just be like, you know what? Screw it. We have to go sign a lot. You have Aaron Judge, the greatest baseball player alive. You're wasting it. You're wasting his career by not giving him. You gave him one season of a player who can be named in the same breath as him, and we went to the World Series. Yeah, we fell apart, and that's a lot of other things we can talk about. But, like, you gave him one year with a real team, and look how far we went. He needs, like, because he's gonna have crazy amount of walks. He's like, they're not gonna pitch to him. If they're not gonna do that, they need to, like, pay for it by having a guy like Juan Soto. Like, I mean, Cody Bellinger's there last year. He did phenomenal, and I think he helped Aaron Judge get to where he got. That's great. But they need more than that. They need more than that. It can't just be Ben Rice, Trent Grisham, Cody, and Judge. It can't. There has to be another move. There has to be.
Look at the Cubs. You know, obviously they lose Tucker, but they have a guy in Pete Crow Armstrong who's a heck of a young player. You know, they go out and they get Bregman. And by the way, that's not the only two names in that batting order. They have a really well-rounded group.
No, the Cubs are a scary team right now. Look at Toronto. Look at the Dodgers. They didn't even need Kyle Tucker.
Right.
They didn't even need Kyle Tucker, but they were like, oh, could we? Yeah, let's get a little more scary. That's the Yankee mentality that I'm used to, that I thought Brian Cashman was. I needed to get that out there, because it's just, of all the years, to be taking it personal and be like, okay, I need to buckle up and go do this. Oh, yeah, it is. It's just a dangerous thing.
It is. It really is. I'm right there with you.
It's just going to get worse and worse, and I don't want to see Aaron Judge get wasted. Well, Tom, we got all week to wallow. We're going to have to wrap it up here in just a second. We want to thank everyone so much from the bottom of our hearts for tuning in to our very first episode of KnuckleBalls on 990 WBOB. Don't forget, we're going to be on every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And thank you all. Tom, anything you want to say to the lovely viewers?
Ryan, it was your formal radio debut. How do you think you did?
Time will tell. I feel good, but I am just talking to you on a computer screen right now. So we're going to have to wait and see what the feedback is like. I think it went well, and I'm excited to keep doing this with you.
I think it went really well, too, and I'm looking forward to this as well. We've got a great show, as you mentioned. We're every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, so we'll be back on the airwaves in a week. We'll have a lot more news and a lot more to look forward to, and this has been awesome, man. Can't thank you enough, like I said earlier.
I'm excited. Well, thank you, everyone. This was KnuckleBalls on 990 WBOB.
The preceding program contained views, opinions, and thoughts that do not necessarily represent those of 990 WBOB, its management, or its staff. So now you know.